This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. There with you, Alex. Wednesday. Yeah, man. Give thanks to be here again. Yes. So, we start out with some African style, African beat, you know, so we love the African beat no matter how it come. You know, and now we say, them call it Afro beat, but remember fella them man from long time. They have pump the Africa beat. Afro beat, them call it now. Fella Ransom Kute from Nigeria. They have pump it hard. And now we say, the youth them come and make it come like it's a new thing. But them do them thing. Them have a style still. So we're there with you. The journey continue. The journey continue. We're going to start where we left off, you know. Yeah, we left off at some weird place. Okay, here we go. Cutting Edge, IRFM. Yes, we're there with you. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. We want to play some clips tonight. We want to float the program with some clips because we feel the information is very important. And whereas we used to play some tapes where it's like an hour long or 1.5 long, we find some clips in this age of science and technology where we can play it all 5 minutes and you get the drift of where we are trying to bring across. So, here we go.
Now, I'm going to explain to you how your food is now being weaponized as an extermination vector to eliminate black lives. All right? Now, I'm a food scientist. I'm the author of Food Forensics. It achieved the #1 best-selling science book on Amazon.com. I'm the co-author of science papers that have been published in mainstream science journals. I'm not just a casual layperson when it comes to food science. I run a mass spec laboratory that's ISO accredited, validated, audited, inspected, passed many, many tests. Our data can be used in a court of law anywhere around the world. We do food analysis. We can search for complex molecules such as pesticides or elements such as mercury or cadmium. So I run the lab. I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers, not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted like bioweapons to interfere with physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to GMOs, relatively new. It's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn.
Okay. We'll come back at this and do the same thing again.
Without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from a nervous system breakdown and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology is widely covered. And they openly talk about how it can be used to target specific physiological processes of certain insect species. They can interfere with DNA repair or protein synthesis in insects. They can interfere with fertility or reproduction. They can interfere with mobility, a nervous system interaction with the musculoskeletal system, or depending on what animal we're talking about, other systems, endoskeleton systems. I ask you, does that technology exist? The answer is yes. It absolutely exists right now. Are they using that technology? I ask you, do a little bit of research, look at the plummeting sperm production in black men. Sperm production is plummeting in black men. Sperm production is precisely the kind of physiological process that can be targeted by RNA interference technology. Now, is that proof that the food crops are being engineered to cause sperm production to plummet in black men? No, it's not proof. But when you connect the dots of all the other things that are being done covertly, this becomes something very likely in the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of advanced testing to find this out. And guess who controls the funding? Guess who controls nearly all the science funding in America today? The federal government. The same government that allows the CDC to cover up the truth about vaccines and black children. The same government that funds Planned Parenthood abortions of black babies. The same government that covers up the EPA-induced contamination of waterways affecting Native Americans and other populations, including the Flint, Michigan, predominantly black population. This government, same government that runs the FBI, that wanted Martin Luther King Jr. to commit suicide. It's the same government. The government is at war with you. If you're black and you're watching this, the government is at war with you, and they want you to exterminate it, and they control the science funding, which means there will never be money for any genetic science of the food supply to uncover this truth. If it were there, it would be covered up like everything else has been covered up this entire time. Just like the Tuskegee experiments covered things up in the 1930s. Nothing has changed, except the technology is more advanced. The covert technology is more covert. The number of vectors through which they can kill you and cause you to have no children, cause you to have spontaneous abortions, the number of vectors is increasing. You are being targeted. And like I said earlier, to some extent, we're all being targeted. But black people are being targeted more than anyone else.
Okay, so we have to get information, and take it how you want to take it. But this is not a new argument that is out there. This argument has been out there a very long, long time. I think the last program before we left here was talking about the doctor of death in South Africa who was playing with viruses to cause a virus that only affects black people in southern Africa. Now, people hear these things and talk about conspiracy theory and all these things, but if a man stand up in a court and admit him wrongdoings, you're going to talk about his conspiracy theory? Now, this man who is a highly qualified doctor is telling you about food and what them doing to food now in relationship to the effect it have on black people. And we take it lightly. We might, maybe it's first I will have your ear, I will hear them information here, but it's not something to take lightly. Because it is being done. It is being done. They are doing it. They are creating virus that only affects black people. There are certain diseases that is black men have it most, like prostate cancer. The amount of prostate cancer that happen in the world is mostly found amongst black men. And now we see them have injection that them tell you, say, well, if you come out against these injection, it's fool, stupid conspiracy theory and everything there, which the evidence is there already to show that a lot of these so-called virus is not of nature, but is of human doing. Human doing. So we have to take them argument with a grain of salt sometime. We have to take it with a grain of salt because we know what they did. We know what a man like Hitler did, experimenting on 6 million Jews looking for a superior race. We know what them do. When we was leaving here, we talk about the Tuskegee experiment. Here the man just mentioned it again. Tuskegee experiment is not a conspiracy theory. And for those of you who is familiar with your Google and your whatsoever you have, just Google Tuskegee experiment and you will understand what we're talking about. This is a real thing. This is not something just highfalutin up in the sky where people just say. This was organized, constructed by white people against black men. 300 black men was injected with syphilis. And as a nurse find out it. And I remember in the 90s when Bill Clinton, the president, apologized for the Tuskegee experiment. Yes, it was in the 90s, I saw. We hear him apologize for the Tuskegee experiment. Because a nurse bust it upon them. These things are not conspiracy theories. These are conspiracies that have been proven outside of the theory. Because everything starts from a theory, but then it is proven scientifically. When you investigate certain things, you realize, what the hell is these people thinking? What them really thinking when them do these things? When we was leaving here, we mentioned the doctor of death in South Africa. A normal argument is that, why, them people love conspiracy, but the man stand up in the court of reconciliation, truth and reconciliation in Africa, and talk about what he did. Him talk about what him did, and him is still alive. And him not showing no remorse about it neither. It's a serious thing. Who's looking out for us? We hear the Minister of Agriculture say the people, they must cut down on certain food because they might eat too much genetically modified food. Who is bringing in the genetically modified food in the country? Who is investigating the type and the kind of food that is imported in Jamaica that the people them who's ignorant of Monsanto, who's ignorant of what is genetically modified food, those of us who know what is genetically modified food, those of us who know of all these things out there, that is not acceptable in mainstream countries, certain countries in Europe. Genetically modified food is not acceptable. When we hear a Minister of Agriculture talk about the people them eating too much genetically modified food, and then we look at the importation bill, the importation of food in Jamaica, and what the Roundup chemical is doing. When we look, I mean, it amazes I. Every time I say I'm going to tape this thing, it amazes I that I watch TV, American TV, especially late at night, and then come up with this thing. If you or any one of your families has been infected with the Roundup by Monsanto, please contact. You might be eligible for millions of dollars. And we look upon the lawsuits against Monsanto. Millions of dollars. But we hear the Minister of Agriculture down here, so I say, the one that we have down here is not... Yeah, it's hey, watch your man. We hear the Minister of Agriculture down here say, when we ball out about Roundup and all these things, him say the one that we have down here is not the same one that is in America where the people them dry lawsuit against Monsanto about. What kind of madness is that? What kind of madness is that? And the farmers them is not literate enough because all them want is them food to grow that them can make money. Them do have no educational skill because for years them a use chemicals and them never see that do nothing to nobody. And all of a sudden now people like all me they can really tell people about Monsanto and all them things there. Yet still, we hear last year them have 700 cases of cancer. The woman in a parliament who have cancer, I forget her name, she said that there was 700 cases diagnosed of cancer last year. 700. That is not no easy amount. So when we look and say what we why Mutan this and that talk about these things so I don't hear nobody and make some glory of it? Because these people have an agenda. They have an agenda. The agenda is to make more money by any means necessary. Make more money. Now the bill, the health bill in Jamaica is rising. Rising, not decreasing. It is rising. Poor people, when you go to the doctor, when you go to hospital, when you go to the clinic, them, it's mostly poor people in a them place there. And when them go there and them tell you how much they go to the pharmacy that you go to, when you hear the price of the pill them and the medication, you cannot afford it. And when you hear we talk, you say, when you hear we talk about eat proper health food and all them things, you hear people that say, well, I can't afford to eat vegetarian food, it's too expensive. Which one more expensive? The doctor bill, the sickness where you have, or the health food? I put it to you, if you know what you're doing, a health diet, a vegetarian diet, a fruit diet is much less than the mutton and the steak and the this and the that where them want you have every day. The white rice, the white flour, the white sugar, all of these white food that is creating a problem. Just like how you hear murder is terrible in Jamaica. People that die from murder, killing. It's the same way people are dead from wrong practices in them house. And we're going to repeat it again, you know, because some people have this argument about why everybody we must dead. Look here, we're not talking about if you're going to dead or not. Everyone of us is going to die. We are going to die eventually. It's not the part of death we're talking about. It's the suffering and the pain that we have when we are living that is causing discomfort. Not only to we, but to our family and friends who, when them see you sick, them go through traumatic experiences and have to go find money, to go get you to the hospital and find money for that. It is not a good thing. So to alleviate that stress and that problem, not to alleviate death, as we say, because we're not stupid. I mean, not another religious person we are talking about, we're not dead and this and that and that. You don't eat good food because you don't want to die. You eat good and practice a good lifestyle because you don't want to be a stress to yourself and to your family and to your friends. So when I want to look at you, you're having too much fast food, I say, well, my business, you know. Oh, this and that. When you eat it now, and you don't say, I'm telling you tomorrow, and you don't say nothing until you tomorrow, don't you think say breast cancer and cancer? Because the whole of we can't get cancer now, you know. The other thing I go know, everybody, no care where you eat, no care where you drink, no care where you do. You could have locked up in your house and not come out there. Everyone now is susceptible to cancer right now. The way your cancer work out. Because the simplest little thing you have around you might be causing cancer and developing cancer in your body and you don't know. And then 10, 20 years down the line, you hear say you have cancer, you wonder, oh, you have cancer. Because you don't remember going around things that them say you have cancer. But there's so much things now that is causing cancer that it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Me hold the paper in my hand now, the paper could have had something about cause cancer, I don't know. The cell phone, you know, everything around you now is a danger than all you do it. But you have people who listen to this program here, and them is like 30 or 20 or 30 or year old. They will reach 40 yet. And young people is having sickness with people over 50 supposed to have. Young people. I say young people, when I talk about young people below 40 years old. Some of them in them 20s. I have sickness where it's people over 50 usually have. When me pick me, people over 50 usually have certain sickness. And them don't have the time to stop. It's not like first time when we are do certain things and when I have nobody a coach way and I tell you, say, look here, youth, don't do that, don't do that. We just do anything. And then we come into the light and I see some light and I say, but wait. Especially with I as Rasta. Rastafari come show you a different light and different level now that me past 50 a long time. Long time. And me I say, you have youth who are below 40 who have some disease and all that you wonder what the hell is happening. And them have people to talk to them. Them have information in front of them where I show them certain things. But yet them ignore it. Them ignore the sign. Ignore the sign and just keep doing what them doing. Like a man I say, boy, he must smoke cigarette for 20 years and nothing happened to him. And the first time he go to a doctor now, them say him have cancer, lung cancer, what cause it? The cigarette smoke. And them I say, Lord, but you know, some must stop smoke for a long time, but this and this and them said certain things to make you get addicted to it. You get addicted to certain things. In a Jamaican society, in a most society, you get addicted to it. But guess what now? There are people that is there that's supposed to guide you, protect you from yourself. And that is one of the main functions of government. Government supposed to fall in where you falter, where the family falter. The government supposed to step in and say, look here, that is why they have law. You know, you feel to kill a man, and you know, say, boy, all right, if you kill the man, this is the consequence. The law is there to prevent that. Some man ignore the law and pay the consequence. But most of the time, a man yield and say, boy, if him do that, that is what's going to happen. You know, the stop sign say red. You know, say, boy, right now you must stop because more than like you go across another man, lick you and say green. And lick the car and you're not the wrong. Sometimes you're dead too. Sometimes the other man dead and you go to prison for manslaughter. That's what the law make you do. I don't do. So we are saying now that if you are grow up and you hear people attack certain things, even if you just go investigate it, because you have something in front of your name, iPhone, iPad, all sort of things in front of you now. Just go investigate and see if what the person is saying goes so or don't go so. Why you hear the government they talk about cut down on sugar and them ask the company them will put less sugar in them drink. And people and them Kentucky Fried Chicken and I say them why you want to say? Especially the woman them watch them calories and this and that. Them order Kentucky Fried Chicken and then go order Diet Coke. What the hell is that? They go order Diet Coke after you done all them madness there. Because you say, boy, you want to keep healthy, you eat the chicken and the burger, this and that. And they go order Diet Coke. The Diet Coke not doing nothing. It's not doing nothing. It's not preventing anything. You have to have this thing as a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You have to have it as a lifestyle. You have to discipline yourself and know, so, boy, this is that and this is that. This you don't do and this you do. It's just simple. And it won't come like there's a stress and a burden. Because that stress and a burden, all the way at some time have to go to the pharmacy. All the way have to go to the pharmacy. Or go to the doctor. And it's a burden. That is a burden. That is a burden. We need to take this thing serious. Because we see too much youth. Too much youth, Rasta. I say, what the hell is going on? Yeah, youth now in the school. I was school that. The school up there, so. The youth dead in time sleep. It's why them say have all sorts of things, you know, where a big old people, and me supposed to get them something there. And me supposed to get them something there, not him. In my school youth. In my school youth, him not supposed to get these things. Tumor in your brain and all them something there. And me supposed to have tumor in my brain. Now, 20-year-old youth, 30-year-old youth supposed to have tumor in their brain. It's madness. We're doing something, or we're not doing something that we're supposed to do. And then put on top of it, them are do things to we. As you just hear, we just play, them are do things to we. And we don't want to accept it. We don't want to accept it because we feel everything is a conspiracy theory. And them want you to brand everything conspiracy theory. That's what them really want you to do. Them want you to brand everything conspiracy theory. So that now you don't check it and say, "Cho, conspiracy theory that you have, I don't like that." Where the evidence of it. Where the evidence is in front of you. But it don't point to where you think it's supposed to point to. That is really what it is. It don't point to where you think it's supposed to point to. So you don't see it as evidence. This is the cutting edge on RFM. We're going to interview Constantine Bogle. Constantine Bogle from St. Thomas. Big things are going on at St. Thomas. Yes. Operator, get him forward on the line there. Meanwhile, we could play this before we get him. I hope we can get him. And I could play this. Because it's very important. Very, very important.
His neighborhood, they had no idea what he was up to, that he was working with the South African Germ Warfare Program. Larry Ford was messing around with chemical biological warfare.
Larry was a wonderful fellow, mad as a hatter. He used to rock up in South Africa, having flown intercontinental flights with a trousers pocket full of goodies in sealed vials that he claimed were new and wonderful organisms and could do the most wonderful things on Earth.
Larry Ford had mutated cholera, typhoid, anthrax, botulism, bubonic plague, and had also come up with germs that he called kaffir-killing germs. Kaffir, as you may know, in Afrikaans, is the equivalent of the N-word. So these were germs that were specifically engineered to kill only black people.
In other words, an ethnic biological weapon. Had Project Coast really gone this far?
From the beginning, this idea of can we find a way to control the size of the black population was considered one of the most important areas of research. It got even more important over time as the size of the black population and the seriousness of the uprisings increased. So That's one reason why they got into genetic modification, research into is there a way to have contraceptives that could somehow basically sterilize blacks without them knowing it, and kind of all kinds of what at the time, or in hindsight, seemed like pretty far out research.
There was some talk about an ethnic weapon Project I was working on that was called Black Bomb.
That was great, yeah. That was the most fun I've had in my life. That whole episode of the ethnic weapon was very well set out in court, in the court papers. What happened is we had the objective to synthesize a certain protein that was in sperm for contraceptive purposes. The objective was that if you could immunize a woman against sperm, then you would make her infertile. We were asked to do this by another country who had a population explosion problem as part of the exchange of technology. They were giving us other stuff. They asked, well, we haven't got the time or the place to do that. Will you guys do that?
All right, so that is South Africa, the man I talk about, and where them do for neutralize the sperm. This is not no joke thing, you know. Them things happen from long time. But it intensifies now than ever before. Okay, we want to shift the reason a little and go. Yes, El.
Yes, Muta.
How you doing, man?
Give thanks, my brother.
Yeah, a Constantine is?
Yeah, the East.
A Constantine you talk to?
Yeah, man, a Constantine this, man.
Ah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, man, give thanks.
All right, so we see big things are going again. I mean, I know, say, it is always a time around when them have the way called fire baptism. When them light the candle, them, I know you initiate that, the candle lighting. How much candle you intend to light this year?
Well, normally we used to light 1,000 candles every 24th of October. Each candle represents one of the family. We had lost some 1,000 houses in the rebellion, and thousands of people lose their life.
Mm-hmm.
So we just put the house on the people and call it a family and light 1,000 candles. But since last year now, you know, it's really last year we declared a fire baptism, you know, based on vision, because we work with the spirit them and we work with the ancestors them, you know. When we get a message, we just do what them tell me. So last year we really give it the title fire baptism, and we started it on an international scale. Well, we had started on an international scale from years ago, but we declared the fire baptism officially last year and get into Africa and some other places and start up, and we had a successful year.
Yeah. All right. So tell me exactly what is going to happen on Thursday, the 24th. What is really going to happen? Because I know we will be down there. We definitely will be there.
All right. Well, on Thursday, the 24th, we will be gathering at the roundabout in Mount Bay for the very first time. We're going to start to change it up a little bit. Normally, we'd have just gather at the statue and do our thing at the statue.
Yeah.
So we'll be gathering from about probably 4 or 5 o'clock at the roundabout. And when it gets 6 o'clock, we're going to pour libation and do African prayer. And then we'll leave from there into the town of Mount Bay. So we'll have a candle march into the town of Mount Bay at starting at 6 from the roundabout. Then we'll go to the spot where Paul Bogle was hung.
And join William Gardner. The courthouse.
Yeah, the old courthouse.
Okay.
And we will have our memorial, our annual memorial there.
The memorial take the shape of what? What will happen at the memorial?
Well, the memorial we're going to have guest speakers. You know, we have different speakers. We have somebody from the reparation committee coming in. We have Dr. Clinton Hutton. We have Samuel. We have a professor from Africa that will be talking. So it is more about people that is giving lectures and black history.
Yeah.
And what happened. That is more what will be taking place. You know, we will have our musicians and perform and poet periodically through the event.
Yes.
Yes, but let me say that the event is not just taking place in Jamaica. You know, the event is an international memorial day we're doing where we acknowledging the 500 million Africans who died as a result of slavery.
Yeah.
So we have people in 11 different countries light candles with us last year.
Oh yeah.
And this year, last year, 11 different countries people light candles with us. So in Kumasi, there'll be a big event.
Kumasi, that's Ghana, in Ghana, Kumasi.
Kumasi in Ghana.
Yes.
And also in Accra.
Accra, yes.
Where them are going to put up them stage and them thing and do them thing. So in South Africa, I mean, man like you would have known this, but we have to say it so that the people them can understand. We have like some 56 million people living in our South Africa, and South Africa have the largest Rasta population on earth. The United Front, they are giving us support. They are on board. That is some 3 million Rastas is on board.
So you have these things are being live to Morant be or just something where how it work? Are people just download it on them iPhone or how it going to work?
Well, it's going to be streaming live, you know, because they will be like hours ahead of us. So it will be streaming live. Some of the places like South Africa go stream live and Ghana go stream live.
So you're gonna have it at the square, the live stream. That's what you say?
Yes.
Okay.
But the live screening, you know, when we reach in at the square, the live screening would have already like 6 hours ahead of us, you know.
Yeah.
According to time frame.
Yeah.
When we are 12 midday here.
Yeah, it's like, 8 over there.
You know.
8 over there.
But South Africa is more than Ghana is about 6 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, South Africa 8 hours.
More than 6 hours.
8 hours. South Africa 8 hours. Yeah.
8 hours, yeah.
Okay.
So
you're not going to have that, you say, in other words, you're not going to have no live stream then. Because 8 o'clock, if it
that's what I said.
Okay.
The live streaming would have taken place, but it would have like actually finished with by that time by we to get there. But just think about it, I know.
No, if the candlelight, the thing I go in at the square, you say at stage 2 and all them something I go keep. But the stage 1 thing I go on when them a do it long Ghana, the candlelight them I go on long Ghana when the stage 2 I go on in Jamaica.
Yeah, but let me say something, Muta. I am not so much about the stage show, you know. I am about the spiritual side of the thing, you know. What we want to accomplish is not just to say, well, we're going to Mount Beer, we get these candlelight, you know. We want to use the power of fire to create a unification of the black race through spiritual cleansing. Because we are convinced that you cannot create a unification of the black race without you have a cleansing of the black race. So, and we want to develop this into an international memorial day when every black person will light a candle on this day in memory of the ancestors. So it is not one of them things that we will have people loosely jumping up on stage saying that we have a stage show. No, so we're doing something where when people come there, they must leave with a message. You know, it's a different type of thing. You know, it's more about listening, you know, to what exactly caused us to be in this problem. I hear just play a tape about what them do to the sperm and all of them things. These are the type of discussion that we want to have to educate people, pass our knowledge on to people, so that people have a better understanding and a better appreciation of themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so I just want to make that clear.
All right. So this going to start at, tell me where to start. Exactly.
We'll start at 6 p.m., you know, at the roundabout. And like we said, IRFM will be there.
Yeah,
and,
the stepping race start at 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock. That's where the stepping race are going. But we will still be there from even earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe later too.
Yeah.
But we will be there with the stepping race. I don't know how Andrea Cabo set it up, if the other programs will also be beaming from there. But I guess I'll find out that tomorrow still. But we want the people them to know that this is taking place in Morant Bay, in Paul Bogle. It's a Paul Bogle, and this is something that is annual in terms of the lighting of the candle. I remember the lighting of the candle that one time. I mean, we was down there when we did have the trial. Remember we did have the trial.
Yeah.
The candle and the light, and I remember long West Street up a Fiver Young, some candle light down the too.
Yeah, man.
And downstairs a whole heap of candle light. We'd have play upstairs and the bridge and them gather downstairs in the car park and thing. So that was good still, you know.
I want to tell you something. Today I was in Kingston and a little old man called me. Somebody I know from your boy just called me out of the blue and said to me, say, Bogle, now that we tried Governor Erie and find him guilty, when am I going to get my envelope? Because all of us now to get our envelope now, man. So it was just today that we're having this discussion.
Yeah.
But we want the people in Jamaica to know that this is very important. And for those of you who can't make it to be in the physical space in Morant, you can light a candle
anywhere it is.
Anywhere it is. And put it up on the Paul Bogle website showing solidarity. And call your loved ones abroad and ask them to participate so we can develop the biggest candle event in memory of the biggest human atrocity on earth. Because when 9/11 come around, Musa, whoever is president of the United States, they have to light candle in memory of the people that were dead in a 9/11. The governor has to do the same thing. The mayor have to participate. The head of police have to come light candle. All of them gather in New York and light candle. And black people have been supporting these memorials, but they do not have one for themselves. And we lose the most people on earth. So it is time for us to bring some integrity to our ancestors. I don't make them continue to call our people them slave and dehumanize them. So we are our ancestors, so we have to bring forward the integrity to the ancestors, and the integrity will filter right back to us.
Yes, brethren. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So this is the fire baptism. The fire baptism. This is Thursday, October the 24th. Right there in Morant Bay in St. Thomas. Yeah, St. Thomas. And the lighting of the candle start at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
So we're looking forward to see everyone out there. Give thanks, brethren. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, Muta.
Yeah, man. All right.
One love.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Paul Bogle. Paul Bogle. This is the cutting edge.
Larry was a wonderful fellow. Mad as a hatter. He used to rock up in South Africa, having flown intercontinental flights with a trousers pocket full of goodies in sealed vials that he claimed were new and wonderful organisms and could do the most wonderful things on Earth.
Larry Ford had mutated cholera, typhoid, anthrax, botulism, bubonic plague, and had also come up with germs that he called kaffir-killing germs. Kaffir, as you may know, in Afrikaans, is the equivalent of the N-word. So these were germs that were specifically engineered to kill only black people.
In other words, an ethnic biological weapon. Had Project Coast really gone this far?
From the beginning, this idea of can we find a way to control the size of the black population was considered one of the most important areas of research. It got even more important over time as the size of the black population and the seriousness of the uprisings increased. So that's one reason why they got into genetic modification, research into is there a way to have contraceptives that could somehow basically sterilize blacks without them knowing it, and kind of all kinds of what at the time, or in hindsight, seemed like pretty far out research.
There was some talk about an ethnic winter project I was working on that was called Black Bomb.
That was great, yeah. That was the most fun I've had in my life. That whole episode of the ethnic weapon was very well set out in court, in the court papers. What happened is we had the objective to synthesize a certain protein that was in sperm for contraceptive purposes. The objective was that if you could immunize a woman against sperm, then infertile. We were asked to do this by another country who had a population explosion problem as part of an exchange of technology. They were giving us other stuff. They asked, well, we haven't got the time or the place to do that. Will you guys do that?
Yes. Okay, so we'll continue. We'll continue with this.
Across our planet. Now you see why I have to speak this truth? You see why? Wasn't it Edmund Burke who said all that's necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing, right? I'm not going to stand here and be silent. I'm not going to stand here and be intimidated. Those people out there, you know, they can slander and they can defame me all they want, all day and night. Call me anything. Fake news, lies, fake accusations. The truth is that you people are genocidal maniacs trying to kill black babies and turn black women against their own babies. You're trying to turn a woman's womb into a murder system through the use of covert sterilization chemicals. That is a scientific and medical fact. And that's why I'm standing here today, to speak this truth, to put it on the record, so that no one can hide from this fact, that this genocide is taking place right now, today. It's not 1932 Tuskegee experiment anymore. It's more advanced. Now, it's not just one vector killing black people. It's 5 or 6 different vectors. It's in the food. It's in the vaccines. It's in the medicine. It's in the psychiatric drugs. Oh, and let's get to the food, because this is the final chapter of this that will absolutely shock you. Now, you're hopefully aware of genetic engineering of the food supply, right? They're called GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. This is an advanced science technique to alter the DNA of food crops in order to build in certain traits and physical properties or even chemical properties that the scientists want to put into the food. Now, I'm going to explain to you how your food is now being weaponized as an extermination vector to eliminate black lives. All right? Now, I'm a food scientist. I'm the author of Food Forensics. It achieved the #1 best-selling science book on Amazon.com. I'm the co-author of science papers that have been published in mainstream science journals. I'm not just a casual layperson when it comes to food science. I run a mass spec laboratory that's ISO accredited, validated, audited, inspected, passed many, many tests. Our data can be used in a court of law anywhere around the world. We do food analysis. We can search for complex molecules such as pesticides or elements such as mercury or cadmium. So I run the lab. I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers, not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted, like bioweapons, to interfere with the physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to GMOs, relatively new. It's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides, because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from nervous system breakdown and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this, because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology is widely covered. And they openly talk about how it can be used to target specific physiological processes of certain insect species. They can interfere with DNA repair or protein synthesis in insects. They can interfere with fertility or reproduction. They can interfere with mobility, nervous system interaction with the musculoskeletal system, or depending on what animal we're talking about, other systems, endoskeleton systems. I ask you, does that technology exist? The answer is yes. It absolutely exists right now. Are they using that technology? I ask you, do a little bit of research, look at the plummeting sperm production in black men. Sperm production is plummeting in black men. Sperm production is precisely the kind of physiological process that can be targeted by RNA interference technology. Now, is that proof that the food crops are being engineered to cause sperm production to plummet in black men? No, it's not proof. But when you connect the dots of all the other things that are being done covertly, this becomes something very likely in the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of advanced testing to find this out. And guess who controls the funding? Guess who controls nearly all the science funding in America today? The federal government. The same government that allows the CDC to cover up the truth about vaccines and black children.
Cutting edge. We just pass the information. We do whatsoever you want to do with it. But we there to give you the information. Everything is connected. They don't talk about all the climate change and all these things. It's them doing it. It's not no act of God. I hear them talk about act of God. It's them doing it. The reason why the thing gone earwire is because them doing things that is anti-nature. Yes, it's an anti-nature mindset that is developing things that is against the very thing that is necessary to cause human beings to continue to exist on the planet. The very thing that is causing man to be here for so long. They are upsetting the balance of nature. Them do it. Insecure white men. Them doing it. Because them see a planet where it's just them. So right now them are trying to get out all colored people out of America. And America is not theirs, actually. But it's what they call a global conditioning. It's a mental war. Not only physical, a mental war. But in order to have the victory, you have to destroy a lot of the planet. in order to really set up your new world order. And when you destroy a lot of the planet, you have to destroy the useless eaters and useless breeders. People who they decide is not giving anything to advance the welfare of the whole human race. So they say. But we was here before them, and we will be here. There's a song by Bob Marley say, have no fear of atomic energy, because none of them can stop the time. I believe that because it's not the planet that is being destroyed, because plastic not going to destroy the planet. All the things that them doing is not going to destroy the planet. What it is going to do is cause the extinction of human beings as we know human beings on the planet. It's not the planet going to be destroyed, but the way them have set it, what is necessary for man to live on this planet is being destroyed gradually. Who is burning down the Amazon? Why do they want to dig even near the cockpit country? Them shouldn't even talk about are we mining on the cockpit country. Them shouldn't even want to go near it. You know? That is like a man. I mean, I am experiencing it. A man have a livestock farm way over the other side of the road from me. And the stench of the farm is so disturbing that it's unbelievable. And film argument will be that it's not near the yard. The cockpit country. Man shouldn't even try, not even near there. You talk about borderline. Borderline. When I talk about the border is here and the border, and if you dig over there, it's not going to affect over there. It's madness. It's madness. What do they know about what will be destructive to the natural order of the thing? When we have precedents that has been set for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. We see example of what they do and what they can do and what they are doing to make life miserable for all of us. Look how much water there. In the abundance of water, the fool get thirsty. So much water. And then look more everybody ball out. The other day everybody was balling out, Lord, we want some water. Now them have too much water. It's not an act of God. When the tree can't store up the carbon dioxide that man give it, when them can't store up enough, they're not going to be able to give us enough oxygen. This is inevitable. Life is what we want to live abundantly. No. They are destroying what is necessary for human beings to exist on the planet. And they are doing things to eliminate a specific race of people. A specific race of people. There is a plan believe it or not, and this is not no conspiracy theory, there is a plan to lessen the population of the African race. And they have tried so many things. So many things. But them don't want to say it's them doing it neither. Them don't want to say Ebola and these viruses that is spreading. New things, never on the earth all the while. Never left on the earth all the while until now. Yeah, you about some disease I know was never there. It wasn't here. Where it come from? You know? You have to say thousands of years ago, you never have dirty water, you never have this, you never have that. How come all of a sudden, disease after disease after disease after disease just apply upon the people them, so boof. And it's a modern age, modern science and technology. And the disease them come like we in the prehistoric age. Yes. It come like we have a modern thing happening with a prehistoric happenings around the corner. A wait per way. I'm talking to some youth the other day and I tell them, say, watch out. Little more children, not even little more. People don't want to believe what I say, but it's true, and you can test it if you want. You have youth, little children in Kingston that never see a chicken yet, a live chicken in front of them. Never see that. You have children in Kingston, never see a live chicken yet. Them see chicken on TV in a them storybook and round them dinner table. And I tell you the way we are going now. Children will soon be asking them parents, Daddy, show me a tree. And I'm going to say, okay, one of these weekends I am not working, I will take you to the museum to see the tree. Think a joke. Not a joke. We are doing things that is anti-life. And we keep doing it over and over and over. And expect to get something different out of it. But power corrupt. Absolute power corrupt. Absolute.
Rally, a Knesset minister, Miri Regev, described illegal immigrants as a, quote, cancer to the country. But these instances of racism have long plagued Israel. Back in 1996, thousands of Ethiopian Jews clashed with riot police over the news that blood they donated was secretly dumped out because of fear that it was contaminated with AIDS. But perhaps more disturbing than all of this is that the Ethiopian Jewish population has been struggling with a staggering 50% decline in their birth rate over the last decade. And this week, we've finally been able to confirm why. According to Israel news source Haaretz, the government has been injecting Ethiopian Jewish immigrants with Depo-Provera, a hormonal contraceptive, and they've been doing it without their consent or knowledge. One investigative journalist who interviewed 35 Ethiopian immigrants found that they were intimidated and threatened into taking the shots, which they were told were merely inoculations. Not only is this completely inhumane and despicable, it's also a complete violation of human rights and female sovereignty and making their own reproductive choices. But even though they have now admitted to the practice, they have denied wrongdoing. In light of this scandal, Israel's health minister now claims that gynecologists have been ordered, quote, not to renew prescriptions for Depo-Provera for women of Ethiopian origin if for any reason there's concern that they might not understand the ramifications of the treatment. Great. But what about the compensation for the victims? What about the accountability for the perpetrators? Sorry, but the Israeli government's word just doesn't cut it when they already act with complete impunity. The part that really irks me, though, is the utter hypocrisy. Israel is the only country in the world that was paved for a specific group of people that experienced such horrific discrimination and genocide. And for that same group of people to now use Hitler's methods against another minority to maintain a Jewish majority is insane. I guess it's true when they say history repeats itself.
Yes, you hear that? Same thing with the Jews, them. I claim Hitler do to them now doing it to the Ethiopian them. Wow. Terrible. Terrible.
Without confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won before you have even started. Let me take into the halls of Timbuktu, when the teachers were you and the scholars were you. We mapped out the stars, knew when the comets flew, traveling the 7 seas on a rendezvous. Way before Marco Polo and his crew even knew the sky made the sea blue. Before they found out the world was not flat, we were building pyramids and practicing Mahat, using compasses and sketching out maps, walking valleys and climbing snow caps. When white guys were in caves taking naps, we were throwing dice, we were playing craps, reciting poetry and spitting out raps with a graceful bow as the audience claps. Back in the days when we praise Amen Ra, back in the days when we raised by the law, showing respect to our ma and our pa, saying good morning to elders we saw. Before Genghis Khan was taking lands, before Farrakhan was preaching Islam, As-salam, you alaykum, we were saying peace unto you, brother man. So why enslave my people and take my lands? Take my treasures, put them in Buckingham, in Vatican and Smithsonian. Told me I had no civilization when I is the king of this creation. We were going to space before they went to the moon. Living in castles with 1,000 rooms. By the river Nile waiting for a monsoon. The banks will overflow and the flowers will bloom. Harvest the crops April, May, June. Bury our pharaohs in golden tombs, and if you open this tomb, your life will end soon, like a curse from King Tut or Hatshepsut. So, come follow me back into the past, into the pyramids where spells are cast, where the pharaoh's treasures are great and vast, hieroglyphics on the walls forever last. I went and took up a mask. Asked master, what's my task? Hold a meditation and I hold my fast, and I hope one day to find my path. Conquer my desires, control my wrath. Jump in the Nile, take a spiritual bath. Karma master has the eyes of the heart. See if I'm wise or just plain smart. I must be humble to develop my art. From the book of the dead, I will never depart. Know all the ways from the end to the start. Read my books, watch people's looks. Penny their motives, they could be crooks. Lurking around on the low down, but I know they're coming, cause I hear the drum sound from deep in the jungle where the tigers live, where yin and yang meet and we live positive, where yin and yang meet and we live positive, where yin and yang meet and we live up. So without confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life, but with confidence, you have won before you have even started. The Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Yes,
Jamaica's
that is
first national
Jinsu.
hero.
Serious poem, man. Serious poem. Jinsu. I tell you, them poems should have write in a school and over repeat it to the children. That them can have serious reasonings. Serious reasons about the people them are digest what we are talk about and what we are play. It's not no joke business. You understand? I mean, we could have sit down here and just play popular music for the night still, but it's not a kind of program there. You understand? It's not that kind of program. We want to yell up the bridge in a southern university in New Orleans, who is the head of the sports team in New Orleans, in a southern university. They will say, Muta, him tell the promoter, them say, he want to bring me up on the stage. Him have to bring me up on the stage because him will want to meet me from him a youth. He might listen to this program and him go through this long story. And I hope him parents are listening because him father don't have still. Say him father listen to the cutting edge now, but the brethren tell me the story, say, look here, Muta, you see when me in Jamaica listen to your program, the amount of beating where me get. The amount of beating where me get for listening. I want the parents know who me are talking to. They must know them son. I don't remember his name, you know. Him is the head of the sports. I think he was the head of the track team in a southern university in New Orleans. Yes, we was there. We spent the time we wasn't here, we was there. Him said the amount of beating where him get from his mother and then eventually his father. And him say, guess what now, Muta? My father can't get enough of your program now, the cutting edge. Him listening to it religiously. So why you look that father? I should have asked him the father name, you know. Why you look the father and the mother? Who used to beat him picnic because he might listen to the program. See it now, the youth gone to university. Youth at university. You understand? And him say that the program help him to reach this. So him say that. Him say the program help him. A whole heap of the things them where him ingest right now as a scholar. It's because I'm used to listen to the program when I'm a youth. And it's staying on him. And I can give you many arguments like this from all over. I can't talk about ministers of countries where you see they are Europe. When them listen to where I come perform in a thing and we say it's not good to stay in a white man country too long, them say, what? Where the brother they come from? And them decide to them have to go back home because if a man who come from Caribbean and say that, them have to go back home. We go back to Africa now, hear them say them is minister this and minister that. So why heal up that youth in a southern university, New Orleans, will bring me up on the stage, introduce me to the people them, and tell the story about when he was in Jamaica, the agony and the pain, when me feel the same way. I youth in Florida say, mother chua, something apart and lick him in him knee because he won't stop listening to this barefoot boy, mad boy on the radio. Okay, we'll go through all of that. This is the continental time. It's 12 o'clock in Jamaica.
Brothers and sisters, this is Chalice. Join us with respect for our national anthem. Let us stand and defend this one. Peace and love. Thank you.
RFM, you know, Grace Jones was in the studio with her for 4 hours. And the longest interview she ever do. But she have a tune where we want to play where kind of sum up the whole level of thinking we are talking about now with the corporate criminals. And the tune named Corporate Criminals. Here we go. Grace Jones.
Pleased to have you on my plate. Your meat is sweet to me. Your destiny, your fate. You're my life support. Your life is my sport. I'm a man, eating machine. I'm a man, eating machine. You won't hear me laughing as I terminate your day. You can't trace my footsteps as I walk the other way. I can't let enough pray, eating pray for me. I can't let enough pray, a man eating pray for me. Corporate cannibal, digital criminal.
I tell you, every time this thing happens, I'm laughing. Yeah.
Master of fear. My blood flows satanical, mechanical, masonical, and chemical. Habitual ritual. Eating machine. I'm a man eating machine. Is a target, a closet full of faceless, nameless, paying more for less, emptiness. I'll make you scrounge in my executive lounge. You'll pay less tax, but I'll take more back. My rules, you fools. We can play the money game, greed game, power game. Stay insane, lost in this cell, in this hell, slave to the ribbon of the corporate plan.
Corporate cannibal, digital criminal. Man, may I tell you, to the last drop, carpet cannibals, digital criminals. Yes.
Mutabaruka.
Yeah.
The climate change is not caused by the Amazon forest burning.
Eh?
The climate change is not caused by the burning of the Amazon forest.
No, I never said cause it. I said part of the problem. It's part of the problem. I never said that. I mean, whether you burn it or not is not that. You have a whole heap of things that cause it, not just one thing.
It's only caused by one thing.
Tell me what it is.
Because NASA and all the other space agencies are going to the moon, and they have been drilling the moon, they have been putting it in satellites, and they have been falling it close to the ice. They didn't know it would start to melt. And that's the only reason we have climate change.
Okay.
Because the heat of it is melting the ice.
Mm.
There's no other reason.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you.
All right. No.
So I know that you have other things. Yeah, I know that you have other things that cause it, but I'm not going to argue with it right now.
No, but I know a little bit more than you about this.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you.
I heard you say that before. Still.
Yes, because they've been drilling the moon. They put it in satellite, not the boosters like you and the man was talking about. I'm not talking about the boosters that get the space shuttle into space. I'm talking about satellites.
Mm.
And they are, I think it was last month, they had some billionaire or millionaire diving down there.
Diving down where? Diving down where?
Near the ice, where the ice is melting.
Okay, the Antarctica.
Yes, and I think his name is Visco or Victor. Well, he goes down there maybe because a few of them got open on the way down when they hit the sea. They open, and so that's why the ice is melting so fast. But that's the only reason.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the FBI, the CIA, none of them might even send a ship out there and some divers down there to even look.
And you are saying
They
that.
can't miss it.
And you are saying that destroying the Amazon don't have nothing to do with climate change.
Only because they're destroying the moon. They've been drilling the moon.
You think that the Amazon
space as a dump truck, like a
yeah, I
dump
understand
truck.
what you're saying.
All these gravels all across the street.
Yeah, I've heard that reason many times. But I'm asking you now that what is the purpose of the Amazon to the balance of the earth right now? What's the purpose?
That's where you're gonna. It's like a diversion, sir.
No, I was asking you, what is the purpose? I'm not talking about diversion. I said, what is the purpose of the Amazon as it relates to the forest, the equatorial forest of the Amazon? What is the purpose of that Amazon to the earth right now?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What are you trying to tell me?
That is just a diversion, just like Donald
No,
Trump.
but I don't, look here, when you say, I'm asking, I don't ask if it's a diversion, I'm asking you, what is the purpose of the Amazon and it relates to the earth? I don't ask if it's a diversion, it could be a diversion, but I'm asking you, what is the purpose of the Amazon? What purpose the Amazon serve as it relates to the earth?
Let me answer you like this.
Yeah.
You're talking about plastic in the water.
No, I'm not, Bridget. Don't go round to the plastic. I never mentioned nothing about plastic as well. No. Plastic is a different argument.
No, but you said the plastic.
No, but I'm done with that. But it's not that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the plastic now.
Yes, but
the plastic is not in the Amazon. I'm asking you, what is the purpose of the Amazon and as it relates to the earth? What is the purpose of it? Don't tell me about what I was saying an hour ago. I'm talking about now.
Yes, Mr. Baruka.
Yes.
So you also said about the plastic.
Yeah, but no, I know what I said. I know,
asking me that.
But I know what I said before. I know everything that I remember everything what I said. You know, but I'm asking you now. I'm not. I heard what I said before. I know.
I'm answering everything that you said, though.
Eh?
I'm answering everything that you said.
Yeah, but answer me. What is the answer me?
That can only cause pollution.
What is the purpose of the Amazon as it relates to the earth?
You mean like fresh air and all that?
All right, continue your journey. Continue the reasoning, Bridget. Continue reasoning. Continue reasoning. Continue reasoning.
Yes. The plastic that's in the water, that causes a pollution.
What is pollution? What is pollution?
As big as England, if the plastic in the ocean is as big as England, that only causes pollution. It cannot cause the ice to melt.
We're talking about ice melting. What? I'm not talking about no ice melting with plastic. What? All right. What is the what? What does?
To the scientists and not to me.
What does methane gas have to do with the atmosphere?
I don't know all that.
You don't know about methane gas?
Huh?
You don't know what is methane gas? Where it comes from? Where it emits from?
I'm telling you what I know, though.
Oh, so you don't know about that then?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you what I know.
Yeah. Okay, but I've heard your reasoning before, and I'm saying to you now, you say the only thing, that's what you say now. You come and you say the only thing that is causing destruction, climate change is what you just said. And I'm asking you two things. I asked you two things. But I asked you two things. Yeah, you said that before, but I am asking you two things. Look here, I asked you two things. I asked you two things. I asked you about the Amazon and I asked you about methane gas. So you don't know nothing about those two things.
I know that it don't cause the climate to change.
Oh, you know you don't know about them. You're going to know something about it that you don't know about. You don't know about the cause and effects of methane gas, and then you say you know it don't cause it. But you don't know about it. Well, here we're going to ask you to do. Go and examine, Google, or do whatever you do, and check what is methane gas as it relates to what we're talking about. Okay?
Yeah, but what methane gas is to you might not be exactly...
No, not to me. I said go and go, and not to me. I said go and Google what is methane gas as it relates to what the reasoning that we're having about, the conversation that we're having about. Go and Google what is methane.
Really about the moon.
Look here, you don't say that already, you know. May I ask you about, may I tell you about something you don't know? You don't tell me about the moon and all things already, I'm digging. I say, you know, go and Google what is methane gas and what is it, what is effect on the planet, the methane gas. Go and Google that. All right. So give thanks.
I was listening to your program.
Yes.
And you said, let me see. You said there was some place in Africa, and they are supposed to give up the power company to China if they can't pay the bill.
Yes.
What country was that in Africa?
It's not only in Zambia. I played a tape. Zambia.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was only Zambia?
Well, there's a lot of places that have to give over them things because they make a deal with China. Sri Lanka. You have Sri Lanka also. Zambia. You have not only in Africa, in places in Asia too.
But And that's supposed to happen this year or next year?
No, not this year. It happens. Whether it's this year or next year, it happens. It don't matter. Not next year. It happens.
No,
already. It happened already.
Yeah, but you said that they can't pay the bill, but if they
if you cannot, it's like you make a deal with a man for say, watch out now.
Yes.
You're going to give me this portion of money in 5 years. If you don't do that by 5 years, we're going to take that. We're going to take that portion of land or that portion of land. If you can't pay the bill, you're going to get that portion of land. So the time come and you don't pay the bill, you get the portion of land.
And that's what I'm asking you now is when is the time supposed to
be? The time gone.
So they have to give the power company then?
Yes. Well, just like what going to happen in Jamaica. Just like it going to happen in Jamaica too.
All right. Let me say this to you. It seems like I'm a little late with the information that I'm going to give you now, but if any of those countries it's 54 countries in Africa?
Yes.
If any of the 54 countries in Africa owe any bill to China, America, or anywhere else, and they ever ask their people, not the government of America, not the government of England, but the people, that money would have been donated to them, and they could have paid that bill, and they would have had so many...
Donated to, what are you talking about? Donated to what?
They could have done many things with that.
What you talking about? Donated? What going to donate it to who? What you talking about?
Donated to the country so they could have paid the bill.
So what you say already? Who going to donate the money to the country to pay the bill to China? Who going to donate the money?
The citizens.
Where them going to get the money from? Where them going to get the money from? Where them going to get the money from?
Mr. Baruka, if you...
Where they going to get the money from?
Here and everybody donate
well, that's not going to happen in...
It comes up to billions.
It's not going to happen in Jamaica. It's not going to happen in Ghana. It's not going to happen in Senegal, where the people them going to come. And the light and power... Then that don't happen in Jamaica too. The light... All right, if a light and power company in Jamaica is operating and the government owe a certain portion of money and them don't pay it, You feel, say, the 2.7 million people in Jamaica are going to put $20 to save the light and power company?
Not the people in Jamaica, the people in America and
people in America
that love Africa will make donations. Then hurricane or a storm, earthquake.
Brethren, anyway. Me really just come from a trip where me still depart. Me can't want to talk to you. Me can't want to talk to you. You're going to tell all the people. Wait there. A government owes some money to a company, to a Chinese place.
Yeah.
And you are telling me now, say, the people them not going to allow the company to take over the business because the people them will put money that's to save the company.
No, I'm saying if the government of that country,
yes.
that government asks their people in America, the African Americans,
but that is not how the thing go. You forfeit the contract, so now you have to pay up. And what you pay up is either land or company.
You don't have the money, so you ask your citizens, and the citizens...
Well, obviously them didn't do that because them lose the company. Obviously them didn't do that because them lose the company.
Say that again?
Obviously, they did not go to the people them. That is why they lose the company.
Yes.
Yeah, so they lose the company. So what you are suggesting maybe can happen, but the time has long passed and them lose the company.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know when it was supposed to happen. That's why I just asked you.
You come from Africa?
Well, I'm born in Jamaica.
Yeah, but there's a whole heap of things we don't know. Go on. I bring it to you. I bring your attention to it, you know.
Yes.
So there's a whole heap of things I don't know what is happening, and people bring it to my attention.
Yes.
And so I am now bringing it to attention that there's a lot of things that is happening with China and business deals that they make with the Chinese, and them can't deal with the Chinese at a certain portion of time, and them going to lose them things. It won't happen in Jamaica. It is going to happen in Jamaica.
You cannot see what I'm saying to you. That
I hear what you're saying. You're saying that the people, the government go turn to the people, and the people them throw some money and pay back the loan. That is what you're saying.
Yes, but not just the people of that country. I'm talking about
and the people. But it didn't happen. But it didn't happen.
Canada, all over the world.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, brethren. It didn't happen.
Because the government didn't think of it.
If the government never think,
it was.
Well, you can suggest it now. Suggest it now to the people them who lose them things. Them lose it already. So suggest it to the people them who going to lose them things like Jamaica. Suggest it to the Jamaican that they must do that.
Mutabaruka,
yes, sir.
You the one going to Africa all the time. You can say these things.
No, I'm not talking about Africa now. I say the companies there's a lot of companies that them take over already in Africa. I'm saying now, Jamaica is in the same problem. The Chinese is building.
The Jamaica government asks their people in America and the American love Jamaica.
Which America loves Jamaica?
I'm not talking about the American government, Mr.
Yeah, I never talk about America. Yes. All right. Okay. Yeah, okay.
I'm not talking about the white people. I'm talking about
the black people.
African Americans.
Yeah. Them going to
ask those people.
Okay.
Our government asks them.
Well, here one now. Anytime them forfeit, anytime the government forfeit, them deal with the Chinese. We can play back the tape here that you have now, we have now, and tell the American them, black people them in America, say, look here, we are begging you some money to pay off a bill where we owe the Chinese. Okay?
Asking for donation.
Yeah, that I say, we're going to ask for a donation. Please, American blacks, English blacks, we're asking for a donation to pay back the Chinese the billions of dollars where them build the road with, and we can't pay them back. Okay? Okay.
We don't want to lose our power company or any kind of company.
Yeah, we don't want to lose it.
We would have had that money would have had money left over.
Okay, sir. Well, we should have beg out the way out of the whole light then. Beg out the whole thing then. We should have beg it out.
Donation isn't really from big.
All right, we should have asked for donation. We should have asked for donation for build the road them from Harborview go around to Portland then. And nobody ask the Chinese them for the money. What do you think about that?
The government can do these things.
No, I'm saying that you can talk to them oldness and them friend them to beg, to ask for donation to build Parliament building that I'm going to build in Heroes Circle, Heroes Park. Just make them ask for money and see how much money they're going to get to build it. It don't work that way, Bridget.
Donate things like that.
Look here, things don't work that way, Bridget.
I have my little $10 I could donate.
Yes. It don't work that way. It don't work that way, Bridget. Governments don't go around and ask for donations to build places like roads, infrastructures, power companies, and them don't ask for donation, or else we would be living in a place of donations. This is not Western Union.
Mr. Baruka, when the storm comes, they have all these. Oh, you can donate your tin food.
That is a different thing, brethren. If a storm come and blow along the place, that's a different thing. People get sympathetic to you and send them money, donate this, donate that, donate. It's a different thing from a government wanting roads or owing another country money and can't pay it and then come ask people for donate money for alleviate the problem. They better go to the IMF or the World Bank. We're going to suck them dry.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, we have to move. You get enough time. We have to move. We get enough time. Yo, you get enough time. We have to move. Yes, sir? Thank you for calling. It was nice. Thank you for calling, man.
If you go that way again, though?
Google methane gas. Okay? All right.
St. Anne. Want to save on high-quality local and imported merchandise? Then become a Price Smart member and save big. A Price Smart representative can visit your company to sign or renew your membership on October 16th and 17th. Or renew your membership over the phone. Call 925-4206 or 924-3552 to set up your appointment. Save on household and basic food items, appliances, electronics, tools, fresh meat, fruits, vegetables, and pastries. Don't miss out on great savings being offered. If you're not already a member, it's time to join the Smart Shoppers community. Price Smart, the smart way to shop.
Now
IRFM in association with the Leslie and Susan Plaza will bring you a day of fun and excitement, starting with the grand opening of the plaza. Catch the IRFM team in action from 12 noon to 6 p.m. featuring the likes of yours truly, Kishima Francis, DJ Collision, and DJ Brian. There will be lots of giveaways, spot prizes, and surprises. Bun eating contest, beer drinking contest, dancing contest, live performances, and lots more fun activities. St. Anne's Bay, it's your day. This Thursday at the Leslie and Susan Plaza, all live on the nation's #1, Irie FM.
Dengue Advisory.
I am Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie, Chief Medical Officer for Jamaica. Every case of dengue has the potential to become severe and life-threatening. Between 2018 and 2019, we have seen several dengue-related deaths. The majority were children under the age of 14. Persons with sickle cell disease, asthma, and the elderly are also at high risk. Search your surroundings for breeding sites and destroy them. This is everyone's responsibility.
A message from the Minister of Health and Wellness and USAID.
Yeah, this is the cutting edge. Yes, ill.
Yeah, good night, so.
All right, I'm going to laugh. Can't know what I said. I'm going to laugh. Yes, good night, sir.
What you doing?
Me I do, man. Me I do. Go and talk, man.
I wonder why you laugh.
How you start. That's why I laugh.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. The word prophet. Do you believe that word?
Which one are the prophet? P-R-O-F-I-T-R-P-R-O-P-H-E-T. Which one? You have two different prophets.
They said that.
You mean the man them who prophesy and tell you say what going to happen and all them things? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like a Bible prophet. Not just a man pretty calico thing. Like a Bible prophet in the olden days.
All right, you want me to tell you my interpretation of prophet? Where we put to tell you things that happen. Him know the social and political conditions are in place. And based upon what is happening in the place where I'm living, in the environment I'm living, him can tell you say that what happen down the line.
All right,
I don't think it have nothing to do with no supernatural colliding with him head.
So based upon the prophecy of Daniel pertaining to the world kingdoms...
I don't believe in those things, Virgin.
I'm saying I'm going to rise...
I don't believe in those things. No, I don't believe in those things. That is my interpretation of a book where a man write. You can't put it in different ways, just like Revelation. Revelation supposedly happened long time from Nero days, but people still believe it not happened yet.
Okay.
When John at Patmos write it, he might relate to something in a film time, a political situation we are going in a Rome, according to what them say. Him write it for the situation where he find himself in. But today a man take it and transcend the world, come clear over this side and say it not happened yet.
So Daniel 2 was, when you look at Daniel verse 2, then...
What Daniel verse 2 say? Where it say?
No, man, I'm talking about Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, what Daniel verse 2 say?
I'm just giving us some example.
Yeah, but you said Daniel verse 2. May I ask what Daniel verse 2 say?
Well, I'm just giving you an example. You don't have to try to tie me up to be political.
No, me not, Brethren. We talk about tie up. You just say, for instance, Daniel verse 2. May I ask you what Daniel verse 2 say? That me can answer you clearly.
Okay, let me try to explain it from my word. I'm not talking about some world kingdoms that himself would rise and fall. The Persian, him talk about Greece, him talk
Rome,
about the iron and all of that. So I'm just saying if those king, he was...
Yeah, it happened already. Yeah, it happened.
Based upon his prediction.
Yeah, it happened already.
Right, so I'm saying... When Daniel predict about those kingdoms, he wasn't around when after that to see like the iron that cannot mix with clay and the
but him did understand the political conditions when he find himself, what will happen to the powers them that be. Like the Roman Empire.
Hundreds of years after that.
No, 100 years, hundreds of years after. No, man, hundreds of years. All right.
No,
all right. Meko says hundreds of years after. Meko says hundreds of years after. Meko says hundreds of years after. You know, you know, man right here so now can't tell you we're going to happen 300 years from now, 400 years from now. A man can't sit down here so now and beat up half a wagwan. Him can't tell you, say, in the next 400, just like what I'm telling you, say, you see, if you continue to do what we are doing to the planet, in the next 500 years, this is how we are going to happen.
Orange with apple, Mr. Hope. I'm not talking about that. Like, I want you to pretty can tell me that Japan is going to take over, be the next world power, or it is China. Daniel was more specific. What you're saying is just like you just want to throw out some marbles and hopes.
No, hope. It's studying, no.
In terms of what Daniel said.
No, it's studying, brethren.
The image.
When a man said China going to take over, you know what him doing? Him saying, based upon what him see politically now, socially and economically, him say, in the next 200-300 years, the power are going to shift. Just like all you hear say, England was once a superpower, and then the power shift to America. He must say, no, based upon how we are going, he must say, why China could be the next superpower. When it's the same way where you talk now, say, you are saying, no, Daniel did say this, and that, and that. Him could have see it along the line, based upon how we are going.
And track it, Sonny.
All right, so when you was, all right, tell me where you say it, what caused him to do that? Where you tell me where you think him give him that strength to do that?
I think he had some gift from the Almighty.
Okay, all right.
To see through all of that, so I was asking you if you don't think men around at this time have that kind of power to see based upon.
But I tell you already, I seen say I tell you I see it already. Him understanding the times him living now, and down the line, him said this why happen down the so.
So that mean you don't see as no spiritual.
I don't see no supernatural power intervening in what him saying. Okay. I don't see no supernatural. I don't believe in a supernatural being.
So is it that because you're not gifted that way you believe that, or you just based off of your personal feeling you do things then?
I don't understand when you say based off of my personal. Anything when me do I'm based off of me. What do you mean?
Okay, so
anything when me do
from your perspective.
Then over perspective I must look on it from. No, me can't look on it from your perspective too, you know. Me can't look on it from your perspective. But you now look on it from Europe. You look on it from another man's perspective who writes something in a book with 4,000 years ago. Me not do that.
But you never asked me my perspective. I'm just analyzing Daniel. You don't know.
No, yeah, because you say, you believe, no, but you just tell me what you believe about the thing. You just tell me.
Okay, you're talking about believing about what Daniel thinks.
Yeah, you just tell me what you believe about it.
Yes, I look through, that's why.
Then on your perspective,
that man and man up in today's world have that gift because you don't see things that way.
No, the gift where you are talking about, as it relates to Daniel in the supernatural consciousness, I don't see it that way there.
Okay.
I don't believe in a supernatural intervention in a man's problems, solutions, or whatsoever. I don't believe that. I think that man decide in destiny. A man create
to the universe or
then we not connect. Of course, we connected to the universe. Why you say, brethren? We don't must connect to the universe. We know the universe, man. What is
the universe teach man if we want?
Of course, the universe teach man. But is the universe that teach me?
The universe teach man.
Are the universe teach me? Are the universe teach me, brethren? Are the universe teach me?
Yes, but some of us might call you the universe God and give it other definition. But I think it's the universe that teaches all.
Yeah, the universe teach me. I don't call it God because God is making it personal, supernatural.
I understand clearly.
Yeah, I don't say God. God now we kind of start to make the thing get topsy-turvy.
Okay, Mr.
Okay.
All right.
Where you know me from? Where you know me from? Where you know me from? Tell me. You call me Mr. Hope. Where you know me from? Me and you used to go to the same church. I used to go to the same church. Tell me that one. No, they're the days now. What the day now? Tell me, man. You're going to make me go to bed and have nightmare about you, Bridget.
You cannot call it day.
Yeah, but you're going to make me have nightmare about you.
Just call me the Great King, man.
The Great King. All right, Great King. Give thanks.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We're going past that? No, we're not past that yet. Okay. All right. At least I'm not going to play before the conversation starts. Yes, Kiddo Side. This is the Cutting Edge.
You see that in your reasoning, acting like you.
All right, we don't want the man credit done. We'll come back to Kiddo Side. Yes, El.
Hello?
Yeah, blessed.
Yeah, man. Night. Well, Mr. I just love the topic, climate change.
Okay.
I'm really concerned about this climate change situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you had a conversation with a listener just now.
About the moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's not aware of the situation, but he's frightened to say, look, why may not really know it? When you ask him about the Amazon, right, he try to go around it. The Amazon is regarded as the lungs of the world, right? It provides 20% of the oxygen that we absorb. It also It also taking the carbon.
Carbon dioxide.
Right. So what I'm saying, climate change right now, right, is a contributory factor. A lot of things contribute to the changes of the climate, right?
Yeah, I know one thing, Virgin. I know one thing. Yeah.
Well, in other words, the Amazon serve more than one purpose. If you burn it down, then what you're going to have, you're burning down the watershed, right? So that is going to contribute to climate change, because where you don't have water, you're going to have heat.
Heat, yes.
So what I'm saying, in terms of the methane gas, right, the emission, you have a thing they call refrigerant that they use in the refrigeration system, right, fridge, etc. Well, you call it dichloride methane, right, etc. Now, what I'm saying, when you release that gas in the air, it takes 400 to 500 years to get depleted, right? So what it does, it damages the ozone layer. Now, even the scientists is so concerned now that they are even planning to create bubbles in the stratosphere, right? But what I can tell them, if they create those bubbles, there's nothing that they can use to control those bubbles, because those trillions and trillions of bubbles are going to drift. So what is going to happen now? Jamaica, we have right around 12 months of summer. Right. If they do that, what is going to happen? Jamaica at one stage, or the Caribbean, is going to experience a lot of temperature and conditions.
Snow.
Right? Where we're going to have freezing.
Snow.
Right? Snow, etc. Right down. Right now, at the rate that the thing that is melting, trust me, when the temperature rises and the water, the ice melts, what you're gonna find is the ocean level is gonna rise. So you're gonna have the deterioration of the ocean banks, etc., right, coming right down. Disaster. That's the name that you're going to come up with disaster, right? So what I'm saying now is that what we can do, because the thing is already damaged, but what we can do now is just to look carefully, try to see how much we can minimize all of these emissions. I don't know how we're going to do it because with all of these superpower making different factories. And
China and America are the main culprits. China and America.
Right. So I'm really concerned, and it is so bad that the chief of the world think that it's a hoax, even though we have scientific evidence that this is causing serious implication, and futuristically, we're not going to have any life on Earth, right? So I think at this time we should be embarking on replanting of trees, and the other thing that we'll look at, just drifting a little bit, in terms of water storage, water catchment. For years we've been, crying about water shortage, right? When all of these reservoir was built, Jamaica population was like
less than a million.
Less than a million, right? So what I'm saying now, with all of these factories, more inhabitants, we're consuming more.
Of course.
Right. So the point is that the way they set the drain, right? When all of these water run off the hill, it run right down into the sea. We need to change that. We need to make divert the water going across, right? And what we need to do now is, like, for example, you have Dorney Park. Dorney Park must have their own catchment. Mona must have their own catchment.
But so them can convert seawater to fresh water, Virgin.
Yeah, because I developed something
machine
with that.
Osmosis, them can.
Right.
But it's a simple thing, but.
Yeah, desalinization, right? Desalinization. And what I was thinking that Jamaican on a whole, right? We are very innovative. We are great thinkers, right? Why not come up with some incentive and said, okay, who can come up with some program creating the most economical desalinization of the water, right? You have to find this out Jamaican come up with here. Right? Because what we're doing, we're benchmarking like the China, the America, or whatever. We can build a lot of things. We can create a lot of things. We are the same man.
Look, man, them. All right, say the air.
Yes.
Where we are breathe have a certain amount of H2O in it, where you can harvest it by osmosis. I mean, it's a serious thing, Like, look, just we not see it, but the air itself have a whole heap of liquid in it,
Yes.
You have machine we can capture that and bring it back into what we call H2O. That is how the water go in. The air go in. You know, see it, the water left the sea and go up through it. And then it come back down in rain, where people claim says rainwater. But the same water continues to go round in at 360 degrees. It's not no new water,
It's a recycling process.
Yeah, it's not no new water a fall from the earth, The same water where it go. That is why you always have the sea and you always have rain.
Right.
It's so nature set up, and we can use that. Just like how them say solar energy. Where you get from the sun now, you get the sun solar energy and become electricity. You see, we can get water, but I guess it's going to be down the line. When me and there, it down the line and then it's too late.
But when I look at it, right, from my perspective, I think it's the system that is actually holding us back, because what I'm saying, Jamaica is so fortunate where we have right round summer. Right? In other words, we have the possibilities and the option to create great wind power, hydroelectrics, right? If you go like in the St. Thomas era, you have about 7 rivers,
Yeah. Well, then I have 8 rivers.
Each other, right?
What you use are 8 rivers.
Right. Yeah. Saying is that we can create can create any amount. You have the Yellows River, Green River, all type of river, Wonderful River, right? Enough to create hydroelectricity.
Of course.
You look at the Blue Mountain again.
Yeah, you see
the Blue Mountain range, right? In terms of wind power.
Yeah.
You can harness all of these situations and you know.
Get water.
Yeah, water
and electricity. Yeah.
Right? If you look at Canada, they utilize the Niagara Falls.
Yes.
And they pay little or nothing for
of course.
Electricity.
Yeah, man.
Right?
It's a whole heap of things, Virgin, but you have to have this, you have to have the government in tune with those things, you know. You have to have the government, because say, look how we know, say, if them dig out the backside, what going to happen to the land. But them still are seen, say, them are going to do it, because it's just a quick fix. 20 years down the line, what else you do? Because we see what happened in a Manville, we see what happened in St. Catherine, St. Elizabeth. So why you want to do that now to the cockpit? And I say it's not the cockpit line you're upon, it's not the boundary you're upon. Which we know say it's not the boundary, don't necessarily mean you're going to mark off there, so. And not going to happen over the other side of the line. And just because you mind over the boundary, it don't mean nothing not happen over there, so.
Yes.
You know, but anyway, give thanks, Virgin.
Yeah, man, respect.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. I was speaking of the system, and the brother said the system a while ago.
Buddha.
Yes.
Buddha.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
Aye, Prophet, they make enough profit.
Mind the profit talk, yeah, you know. I can't take the profit talk a long time. You don't hear you do, you know. Look like you got rush, man.
No, sir, but sometimes I miss the program to the truth, and sometimes I have to get through.
Well, a long time you know you, man.
Very popular, you know, brethren.
Eh?
Yeah, sure, very popular, you know. Your commercial, up.
No. Well, I tell you, every time I come here, I think it's a holiday I come probably, you know, and I realize, you know, holiday about I say, but wait. The thing get away, you know.
At the price of success.
I know my success now at the radio station.
Yeah, bring the success.
Well, I tell you what, in the night, you know the way they talk. Me know you no more.
But hey, they hate Rivers business. Watch your race. I really hate River down there. I don't know.
I got that more too.
But you know, say, me go all up a Duns River, and me see that, you know, tourist board and put up them sign and I explain about Ocho race and how you get the name and all them something, because they have 8 rivers. I don't know, so you go, you know. Because I tell you, me used to the library and I find a Spanish book, a book in a Spanish way, the history, some of the history of Jamaica. And you know, so them they have the first European them before England take over, right? So originally them I give most I name them.
Yeah. And
to when me I translate and I say I never Ochorious in here, I lost Chorios.
Lost
like the you know,
the river.
Chorios are like something where glisten and shimmer and shine. Because say, when they see that them when them out there look
them see this thing up on the side of the hill.
Up a Fern Gully, there's some waterfall and river.
Yeah.
North River. Because Fern Gully road there.
River edge, yeah man.
So when they walk there and look and the sun catch the water, it just look, you know, it shine. It's like diamond.
Yeah.
So then call it, then they say, Los Chorios. But I guess some Englishman,
I say Los Ochorios.
mix up because they might know little Spanish and know Ochorios sound like Ochorios, so I saw go and everybody say no, well, Ocho, I eat rivers also. But you then check back now,
yeah. Well, thank you for that information. I never know that neither. I never know that.
Most of the name them, you know, them are Spanish.
Yeah, me know, yeah, because them the first did come here, and them first come here with the Italian guy, yeah.
And the prophet, you know. You know, say, in the time of the Bible writing, with prophet. A prophet, I never smart a prophesy and tell you the future, you know. A prophet is a man who speaks for the people.
Yeah.
You know, when he's like a liar then.
Yeah.
That most of the prophet them in the Bible, talk about the social issues.
That me say too.
You know, so at that time, the meaning for a prophet was somebody who speak for the people. It's a mouthpiece for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, God sent Moses to go talk, and Moses couldn't do it. He make ear and do it. Moses saying can't do it.
Can't stammer. Him stammer.
So it's a make ear and do it then.
But it end up that Moses had, the thing contradiction there, so, because after Moses said, boy, I can't do because him stammer. When them really go along there, it's Moses, them say, and Moses said to Pharaoh this, and Pharaoh said to Moses, and Moses. You're not about Aaron more than Aaron, go make them make a calf. A golden calf.
I see where Moses him do. When you divide up the people, man, they are like 11 tribes, they have to do all of the work. Team family now. Team family collect 10% for everybody.
Them are priests, Levite, them are priests. They become priests, man.
You get 110% for 11, 10%, 11, 10, 110.
Some people would have wondered what we are talking about, and it's in the Bible, and them don't see it. It's in the Bible, and them don't see it at all, I tell you. Yeah, but them just make him pride become Levite, and them can't go in at the tabernacle. Not even flat-nosed people, nor one-foot man, nor people with blind can't go around there.
No blemish.
Yeah, and them just go talk with them talk and come out and say, thus saith the Lord.
And then them will tell me, say, God love everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you love everybody, and you know what, nobody will favor me in the tabernacle.
Them say, no flat-nosed people.
I'm big lip.
A thick lip, yeah. But what you think about this Virgin attack? The Virgin attack about the climate change. I say it have nothing to do with me. It don't have nothing to do with nothing more than the stone them take off of the moon. Because that's how them go. The same people them after that. I say the earth flat and all them something too.
I don't know. They still come with a flat earth.
It's popular, man. Hey, watch our man back me up one day in the rest of me said, ratted. And him call up on the radio for proof to me. Say, all motherfucker, when me think a man is sensible, them start to tell me, say, no satellite up in the sky, I've tricked them a trick way.
Yeah.
You didn't hear them? Yeah, say I tricked them a trick way. No planet, which planet? I mean, I say, Bridget, but me going at the way name of them. In San Francisco, and looking at them telescope. Then when me I look pan up, they saw through them thing, the telescope them. When me I look pan, the man call like a trick, me I get trick.
You can tell, right? Like when them talk about, let's see a reasoning when we read about the flat earth thing. So I don't kind of remember it too much, but them talk about the horizon then, right? So the horizon look. But if you notice when a ship a come. So the ship small and then it might get bigger, You see the top, the funnel up at top.
Yeah.
Go until you see come up like a woman and walk up a hill.
Yeah. You see them head first and then you see them half of them body and
because I come up a hill.
Yeah.
And that's why you look on the ship and come over your horizon. You see something on top of it, then you go and then you go until you see the whole ship come up to you.
Brethren, I don't know where them come back from with this Columbus talk, brethren. This Columbus talk, and the man them might show you some serious reason, serious reason. I tell you, say if the earth did round, I mean, I tell you, them have some talk in there that. I say, watch out now. Me nah go back a Columbus talk,
I have a woman cuss me out one night about 2-3 days after the Virgin the company ready with the flat earth reasoning to you.
She agree with you. She agree with you.
She attack. And she cussed me out because I said, can't go so. We hold the sun.
The move from over there, so. Yeah, and gone over there, so.
Me said the sun now move away and move around.
Yes, sir.
All right, watch this.
And the Pope is that.
Me said, here what you do. Go into your house and stand up under the light bulb. Turn on the light. Look up on the light bulb and then you start turn around. And then tell me if you see the light bulb and move or not. Because that's all you have to do, explain to somebody. Go stand up under your light bulb
move.
When it turn on and you start spinning. Because if you spin to the right, the bulb will go to the left. If you spin to the left, the bulb will go to the right.
Yeah.
So that happen with we on the sun. It look relativity. We are moving, it now move.
I don't know how the
people are back. Say, all right. You see that light post over there, so? I go stand up beside him. I say, which part me there, me on the light post? With the side and side down. I say, walk, no, I go walk. Where the light post I go? When the light post move down behind you. I say, light post move on right there yet. All right, you are move.
Yeah, but you...
Back up and walk and tell me if the light post move on now. And get it there behind you.
But you ever see two bus park up the side one and the next bus move?
Yeah.
Look like you are moved to, you know. You don't move.
And if it's one, I'm going to see speed coming like it now.
Nah, move. Yeah, man, the man, a virgin actually write me and I say, I trick about them have satellite up there. No satellite, not up there. No satellite. Mr. Virgin, all them telecommunication and all them things there. Him say, nothing like that not up in the sky and no planet not up there. I lie them and tell about planet up there. I say,
right, I know you can look up with the naked eye, and I see some of the satellite there. It light color, it light them and change color up there.
Look here, man, them talking, you know, it's just to keep back the thing again, you know. It's just another keep back business, you know. The scientists prove, say you have planet out there. The sun is the nearest star to the earth. You have many more suns, but because it is so far, it looks like a little blink. That is a scientific fact.
But common sense, you tell me the amount of stars when me see up there. Yeah, we want to just have planet down.
Watch a man, a Rasta man and me argue for about 5 hours. I want being, you know, him say, the sun a move. So him going to prove to me that the sun move, you know, him say, all right, watch a little more if you know I go to the sun over our head. And then a little more you go to the sun over that side there. And I can't tell him no different. I say, but you know, see a man get exiled on an island because him go tell the Pope.
Okay.
His name Galileo. Galileo go tell the Pope, say the sun a move, the earth a move, revolve. And him say, no, the Bible said that. I know him must say the Bible said that. No, Joshua commands the sun to stand still. I mean, he must say, if Joshua commands the sun to stand still, all we are say is the earth a move. They don't sit there foolishness.
But you know, the only reason Galileo never did, no fire to him, Papa did big.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to Pope, one of the big man with the Pope, they like him.
Yes. Them just exile him. Yeah, them just put him on the island, they exile him.
But you see, then come apologize to his family and all kind of thing. No.
Just like how them apologize to know, what's your name? What's your name again? What's your name again? Oh gosh, man. Joanna Park. 500 years after them burn her, them come back, come say she's a saint. The Pope. I tell you. But that thing though, is that thing. And I show the bridging are going to show me now, say, we must go, all them talk there, are some simplicity, simpleton talk, you know, say, if we're going to lose the company, we must ask the donation. The government must ask the donation around the world.
When I talk at the diaspora,
yeah, but that now,
you know, see who else around up and know a big
money still.
How much we get? But that I come to, we don't lose the light company already, but yeah, go see police station, China come build police station like them do.
And Chinese police too.
Like them do South Africa.
And Chinese baby I call me daddy.
But you see with the moon, the sun stand still business.
Yeah.
I see him here with the moon. I know man, we tell us the moon rise over this and I west and the moon rise over so and come over. And then I realize that at this the night catch the moon, that's why you can't see it.
See it over there, so yeah.
And tomorrow night it take one more hour before it reaches and one more hour before it reached. Because every night it rises further over 1 hour earlier.
Them things they don't plot out long time from before Europeans go a certain place. Europeans they come make we feel like said all of these things because they never understand the Dogons and the Phoenicians and all them people there. They don't know the whole cosmic of the whole thing. So we know we're gone back in a Columbus talk, you know.
But when the Moors did run Spain and them place there, most of Europe. So then learn whole heap from it.
Yeah, then, of course, 700 years, of course, them learn whole heap of things. Learn enough things, man. Because them man, they scientific, you know, even the sailing, you know. As the Moors, them show Columbus about the sailing and the thing, you know.
Well, you know, one of them did have fun on the ship.
The chief navigator was a Moor. You know, I mean, I tell you, education kind of rough with them people, boy. Education rough.
Them go out there and learn it and come back and then I go and let them teach me.
You know, the man tell me, say, the only thing that is creating climate change is because man I dig off the moon and I bring it back come along. So, you know, like,
so,
wow.
How long they go travel no there?
You know, like, man, I go to the moon, Richard.
But at the same time, still them I tell you that, you know, at the same time I tell you, say, I lie, nobody go there.
All of that, too. All of that. Me must sit down here so now and I say, all of them things when me see are going down here. The excessive livestock farming is causing pollution.
The methane gas.
Methane gas, what me I tell him about, but him don't know nothing about it. Methane gas, livestock. You can't tell certain people that because them don't want to give up eating and meat and all them something there. Because them don't know that the more livestock farming is the more the pooping, whole heap of animal them have poop. And it's the more the methane gas.
Flatulation, bovine flatulation.
Yeah.
And then belch too.
Belch, of course. You can't tell some people that. They must say, Muta, where you get them foolishness from? You know, it's just like you can't, you know them say, you can't throw pearls to swine. Sometimes you have to look on it that way there. You have to go through too much things. You have to stand too much licks and kicks and, you know, abuse when we say certain things, you know?
Take time, spoon feed them.
Yeah, that's what I do for a long time, Reggie. That's why I was still stand up here. You know.
Like all time people that say, you get picnic is same food, but you use different spoons.
Yeah.
You use a smaller spoon.
Anyway, give thanks, Reggie. We have to move.
All right, Papa.
Yeah, man. Give thanks to your friend, man, after about a year or two.
You know, you're listening to Patrick. You hear me up. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm President of New York. Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, sir.
Tell me if you hear me up.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
Hey, tell your operator. Well, all right. Me see what I'm there.
Yeah.
Who existed in history, and they say history is when a people begins to write. That starts their history. That means there is no history for Greece until Homer wrote the Iliad and there is no other written record in Europe until Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Which was when?
833 before the Common Era. And Homer said in the Odyssey, quote, the gods Zeus and Apollo came from Ethiopia, unquote. Zeus and Apollo is known as Greece's first two gods. And Homer himself, the first Greek writer, said they came from Ethiopia. The Egyptian writer, Hunefer, Hunefer, in the papyrus of Hunefer said, quote, we came from the beginning of the Nile, where God happy dwells at the foothills of the mountain of the moon, unquote. Secondly, when the Africans wrote and created writing, there was no God Jehovah yet, no Adam and Eve yet. The first Hebrew, Abraham, was not born. Abraham is not born until at best 1346 before the Common Era in the city of Ur in Chaldea. Chaldea is about where modern-day Iraq, just south of it is, where the Tigris and Euphrates meet. Now, when Abraham was born is equivalent to the 13th dynasty, just around the time when a people called the Shepherd Kings, or Hyksos, invaded the northern part of this land, around the delta. And they did not come any further south than a place called Avris. And they're still in the delta. For instance, Hyksos have never been this far. They have never been as far as Cairo. And Cairo is an old city. The oldest it could go back in Fustat. And it was made by the conquerors during the time of Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali wasn't even an Arab. He was an Albanian who took on the name Muhammad Ali. Now, when he converted to Islam to get the throne. If we go back further, not a single Hebrew was in this land until then, unless he was astray. There was a single nation. There was nobody named Abraham. Abraham's mother and father did not follow what we call Judaism today. Terah, his father, worshipped an African woman. An African woman you will see right across here, called Hathor. H-A-T-H-A-O. That's the Western spelling. The correct name is Het-Heru. H-E-T-H-H-E-R-O. You will see her and the funerary temple of Queen Makari Hatshepsut. She is sewn as a cow. And when she is sewn as a woman, is an African woman with cow's ears. The best place you will see her is at a temple dedicated solely to her at a place called Dendera. Then you will see thousands of faces of her, especially in the hypostyle hall. The Hebrews in the first book, the book called Genesis, which means first, they showed that Abraham worshipped the golden calf. India calling the sacred cow. But the golden calf is nothing else but goddess Hathor. Now, that's the 13th dynasty. If we go back to find out all that was done by the time of the 13th dynasty here, before the first Asian, there is no European history then. The Etruscans, the first of European, along with the people of Persia, which later became the Romans and the Greeks, are not in history then. That don't say they don't exist, but there are no records of them. There's no record of an Adam or an Eve. Then no God, no Jehovah, no Jesus, no Allah. Then.
But the Africans were already...
but African Ptah. I'm going at random. I could keep knock them up. Let me go. Since African God had goddesses, I mean, they weren't eunuchs or anything like that. So the Africans had Ptah, right? They had Nut. They had Osiris. They had Isis. And by the way, I could use the proper name. When I say Osiris, they had Asaru. When I say Isis, they had Aset. They had his son, the Trinity. They had Asaru's son, Heru or Horus, born of an immaculate concepted mother. He himself born of a virgin birth, which you can see the story at the temple of Setai I at a place called Abydos. And Setai I was a king, a 19th dynasty king. The Africans equally had numerous other goddesses and gods.
Yeah, that was Ben Buchanan talking about the origins, not the ideas of Europeans, but how Europeans got their ideas. They have Zeus and Apollo and him thing there coming from them going and invading Kemet. These things are historical facts. You know, if you go out in the British Museum You see a whole heap of where Ben you can talk about. You go to Egypt, Kemet, you see it on the walls of the pyramids. Yeah, man. So much things. So much things. As we say, we're going to be back here a little more from this at 2 o'clock. From 2 o'clock meaning 2 o'clock p.m. to 5:45 with the stepping razor, the art of war. We hope, for those of you who stay with it till now, we give thanks. We give thanks. For those of you who just wake up and expect, say, it's 12 o'clock, you have to catch it later. Yeah, man.